Hey, hi, how's it going? Reef from VerdaVap here with a very belated update. It's probably been about a year since I've updated on YouTube. Hi, how's it going? But yeah, and anyway, in this video, I guess I'm gonna be chatting about how we got to this point where we got VerdaVap 2.0, VerdaVap STEM accessory, ready to ship. In fact, these are being packed to ship, and I thought, fuck, I need to make a YouTube update. When am I going to do it? Now is the time. Anyway, so I thought, yeah, this is it. I'm literally out here packing these up right now. So, and this video is probably going to be a bit of a longer one. So just, grab your VerdaVap if you got one, or whatever type of thermal extraction device you have. Grab it and relax, or grab a drink, and yeah, let's chat. So I guess let's just go to begin. This is the thing that I made for myself. This was the first nameless vaporizer thing, and then I posted some photos online, and people were like, "Oh, this is cool. I would buy that." And I was like, "Hell no!" Like, I couldn't sell someone this. This is not good enough to sell, definitely. And anyway, this was literally made out of this stainless steel pill bottle here. It's just a double chamber thing, and I literally just put in here. You would put the thermal mass, the rubies, right up in the top there. Little hole drilled in the top, literally a single dodgy little hole, which is all you need really. And then yeah, this is just silicon grommet. This is just literally, look, cut off, hole drilled in there. But that's where we started, and then people, from a distance it looked nice, and so then I was like, no way, this is too dodgy, especially like this part. So then I was like, maybe I can just buy a whole bulk of these pill bottles, because, and maybe I can do something. So then I got this part machined here. I was like, I can probably get some engineering drawings happen, so I can do this and make a nice little adapter thing. So that's the pill bottle, and that screws onto that, and then the little slot here for the handle, right? And then a little bit of wood goes over that, and it was going to be glued on, and that was going to be VerdaVap 1.0. And this I didn't even end up selling this. I just got too far down, and I was like, this is just not the best solution. And then we iterated to VerdaVap. I'll just take this handle off here. I guess we can leave this on here. Like, I've got a VerdaVap. This is a VerdaVap 1.5. So this was with a wooden bottom there that I made. Yeah, actually I've got a whole, no, actually this would be a sidetrack. Yeah, so that was kind of 1.0 that didn't even make it to market. This is the VerdaVap 1.5 with fancy wood. I don't think really anyone got fancy wood. Yeah, this had some nice changes, like, so instead of having to glue the bottom on, which was gonna be the 1.0, this has this, where you essentially, it sandwiches on, and that's nice. But the handle is still glued on. And then I guess, yeah, let's just go through all the issues, like the changes that have been made while we're at it. Why not? Like I said, this might be a longer video, but that's fine. So on the VerdaVap 1.5, this unit here, you can see at the top here, essentially, let me take this off. And this is righty loosey. Reverse threaded. Now essentially, the well, it's hard because the camera's mounted on the top, but all right, so there's no gap right at the bottom of where the threads end there's no real gap. And essentially what happens is, I'll be able to probably show this cleaner with the cap on. But you can see here, so you can see the balls in there. There's no gap there. So essentially the balls, if the ball chamber got overfilled over the brim and you screw the cap on, you can get a ball that will slot up into this hole here, and it can get jammed in there where you can't take the lid off. So that was one issue that we had with version 1.5. And then that was fixed by adding, this is a version this is a 2.0 cap. You can see in the bottom there, I've added like a 2 mil gap at the bottom of the threads there. So you screw the cap all the way down and it doesn't matter. There's gonna be like a gap. There's gonna be a gap. At the top, you fill the ball chamber all the way to the top, and there's always going to be a little air gap there. So you can't overfill it. So that fixed that issue. And the same sort of issue down one chamber lower on VerdaVap 1.5 here. You can see the chamber that you load the dry herb into here, right? You can fill it all the way to the brim, okay? And then essentially if you filled it to the brim, it would press right up against the face of that screen there. And this holds the thermal. This is what gets hot, right? So that could lead to combustion easily. And I didn't detect that when I was testing it because I would never fill it all the way to the top. I would always just half fill it, and because that's just like enough for me, right? I'll usually have a few smaller hits over like a longer period, you know, little micro doses essentially. But yeah, people were filling it to the top and also not having the heating techniques dialed in, you can combust it. So essentially on the VerdaVap 2.0, now I've done that same logic. I don't know if this is okay, yeah. So you can see in there now, at the bottom of the threads there's a gap. So you can fill the you can fill the herbs all the way to the brim here, and I've also got a nice new filter in there. To the brim here, and there's always going to be a gap. So you've got that little, yeah. I guess another change. Let's have a look down here. So this is the bowl that we put the dry herbs, and you can see here halfway up there's a little indent, so you can kind of carefully slot your filter down in there and set it to a halfway, so you can have like a micro dose essentially. Or you can just pop the filter to the bottom and half fill it, you know what I mean? Like, and then you get extra air gap as well, but yeah. Additionally also, I've, at the bottom here, you can see it sort of tapers down at the bottom, at the base there. On the VerdaVap 1.5, I don't know if I've got like a clean 1.5 bowl here. On the VerdaVap 1.5, this might be it here. Yeah, sweet, it is. You can see at the bottom there, it's like flat, right? So, and then the filter would press right up against that flat surface. And then we had issues where essentially it would be pretty hard to clean in a certain, you know, around the edge there. And also right down in that point there around the outside where there was sort of no airflow, you would get like less efficient, you know, you would have like more greener spots where you wouldn't, you know, get as much, because there's no airflow down there, right? It's like a dead spot. So you don't get as even vaporization. So essentially what we've done is we've added the microdose filter indent, and then we've added a full filter indent at the bottom. And regardless, you can pop the filter all the way to the bottom and it just sits on this little tapered section now, so it's not like a flat surface, so you don't get any of that, yeah, you get the airflow. That's just another improvement. I'm trying to run through if there's definitely other things. All right, yeah, so I mean, I guess we're just moving down, right? Oh, okay, there's definitely lots more to go through. What am I talking about? So at the bottom here, we've got on VerdaVap 1.5, you can see here it was just slotted. And essentially, the idea for that is if you get resin that can get like in the threads, or the threads get gummy or whatever, it can get hard to undo just by your hand. So I wanted to add a little indent there that allows someone to put a tool in there, and but that's just the wrong way to do it. And essentially, like if the threads get a bit gummy from resin in there or whatever, essentially what you do is you would just apply a little bit of heat to the body here, and you can just undo it. So what I've done with version 1.5, sorry, with version 2.0 now is, let me just pop this guy out of here. With difficulty. So you can see at the bottom here, with this one, I've just added a texture. So it's just like yeah, so you just grab it with your hands now. Again, if it gets whatever, for whatever reason, you can just heat it up. The resin goes to a liquid and you can just grab that, little grabby bits. And I guess while we got this out now, the handle was a little small with 1.5. You know, it's kind of like, you know, like it's like a, you know, hyperbole a bit, but you know what I mean. Like it's quite small, and I like it, you know. But a couple of people pointed it out, and you know, I wasn't opposed to making it bigger, so made it bigger. While we're at it, added some nice features. Added the feature, I like this, where you could clamp the wood, because I like the modularity of that. So I added that functionality into this part here. And I hope you can appreciate the surface finish on this. So I thought we'll have a clampy bit, and then I thought, cool, if we have a clampy bit, maybe I can add some extra functionality in there. So I added a pokey bit in there as well. And then I've thought ahead, in future, maybe I don't want that to be a pokey bit, maybe I want that to be like a little spoon or something. So yeah, just modularity in mind. And that just means the wood is all dress wood now, so you can just take the wood off and you'll be able to just change different woods. I'm going to have all different types of woods you can get. So we've got rosewood here. We've got walnut. And of course we have the ebony, which is all sold out currently. Yeah. So the whole idea is just basically I wanted it so you could, the materials are good. Everything should last. It's rubies, it's stainless steel, it's wood that's been resin infused. This is like, it's like, hear it, like it's like, it doesn't sound like wood. Like it's fancy chef's knives and like fancy pans and kind of all that sort of stuff. They all use resin infused, like stabilized wood. It's a whole process. You got to put the wood under a vacuum and put it in an oven. But it's worth it because you get wood that sounds like this. It's nice. Lasts. It removes the negative effects that humidity and heat apply to wood. The expansion, contraction of wood takes the badness out of the wood. So yeah, that's that. I guess that's not that. We've also I've made a portable stem accessory as well. Okay, which is this, as you can see over here. This is the cooling helix that goes in the center. And I guess, let's just put it together. So that's the bowl. You pop your helix down. You pop this straight up in. That is, got some O-rings here. These are FKM O-rings. If you know, you know. If you don't, just know that these are the best O-rings that you can get for this purpose. They're high temperature resistant, they're chemical resistant, they're solvent resistant. Don't soak them in your solvents and stuff. They can swell and whatnot, but they're good. And I ship them with spare O-rings and stuff as well. But yeah, so then essentially the mouthpiece goes over here when you're running it portable. And that way your mouthpiece is thermally isolated from the condenser in there. Yeah, I'm really happy with this thing, guys. Obviously you press your filter down on top and all that. You can, it's fun, so you can just run it like this, like a sir, just puffing it like that. Or you just take the handle off, unscrew that's fine. Not necessary. You can see here I've added a carb and like an air intake essentially. But if you want it to be completely, you don't want to have an air intake, you just I want this full, you just close that off. And then you just essentially sandwich it down on the wood so it's completely closed off. Or if you want like it to be half, just adjust it to however you want. Full open, lock it in. There it is. These are little pinchy bits here, so when you're sort of tightening it up, you've got a pinchy bit to grab on, and then you sort of just grab that and tighten on. That's it. I apologize for not making more frequent YouTube updates. I do intend on it. I've got plans to do I've got series as planned. But anyway, I'm so happy with this. I'm really happy with how far I've come with this product in a relatively short amount of time. I'm not a mechanical engineer, right? I'm not a machinist. I'm an electrical engineer of all things. I'm new to this. So we've gone from this to this. Not bad. I guess there's one other little thing I can show you real quick as well. Yeah, let's do it. So, where is it? There it is. Here we are, I've already got one set up. Okay, cool. So this is an additional little part that I've made so this is an 8mm adapter for the VerdaVap. So if people have like 8mm stems, this is one, for instance. It just means you can use your VerdaVap with kind of whatever the hell stem you want. If you've got whatever stem you want, I don't know, man. I don't know. You're probably not going to get better than this big bad boy. But if you have fancy other stems, I'm happy to give people the option. They wanted it, so yeah. I'm just gonna include these for this first batch. I'm just giving these in for free because as a bit of a thanks, I'm giving a whole heap of little fun little free things in it as well. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's have a little let's have a little go over this thing, eh? This is a fancy stabilized burl. Oh yeah, and I didn't show the filter off as well. There's a nice filter that I've done in there as well. We got actually five different types of filters. I have three different stainless steel mesh filters, a titanium mesh filter, and then this pressed filter there. I'm super happy with the surface finish on these guys. This is the Old Mate Designs Aroma 3. It is a grinder that you would not want to have thrown at you, ever. It weighs literally half a kilo. And it's fucking awesome. Look at this. It's fun. It's fun. Alright, where's my big Bernie flamethrower? Oh yeah, you know what? Again, this is a long video. It is what it is. I just got some stuff to show. Look at this. I'm just want to show you. There's 1,000,001 failures, right? I've just got bags and just jars of just failed pieces. Like these are all intricately lathed, tiny pieces that I've just screwed up. So, yeah, I don't know. I just want to say, good things do take effort, really. They really do. It's like and it can be super discouraging, like how, I don't know, there's always issues with things, and it can be discouraging when you just continually face issues. But you just literally, if I've learned nothing building VerdaVap to where it is now, like it's the first thing is naivety. Just like, yep, I can do it, I can make this thing, I can do a thing. And then backing that up with just determination of just like, oh shit, I can't do this. I mean, right now I can't do this, but I'll figure it out. And just go, and just keep figuring it out. And just rinse, repeat. That's my that's my experience with VerdaVap. And that's probably, that's just business. Like making one of a thing is astronomically easier than making hundreds of things. It's just the thought process is totally different. I'm an engineer and like a maker, but making small amounts of things is so different than making large amounts of things. I've learned a lot. I really have. And this is just the beginning. I'm really excited. I'm going to be working on electronic projects soon. I have we'll just go. I'm going to make essentially like an electronic hookah blower, essentially. So you would essentially pop it right on there, and then click a button, and it just like has a little turbine fan in there, and it'll just blows the vapor out. So you can just sit there and it just blows it out. Kind of fun. And two, that's going to be my first intro electronics. Like I said, I'm an electrical engineer, but I haven't done consumer electronics yet. So that'll be my first one. And then I'm going to do an induction heater for this VerdaVap. I'm a tinkerer. I'm out in the workshop, and I've always got blow torches around and ready to rumble. And I love the big fire, but I know that a lot of people don't, and that's fine, So that's why I'm going to make an induction heater. That'll be nice. But before that, I'm going to have some other more basic products to the lineup. Essentially, first one, I'm making a really nice cooling stand. So I'm having like a fancy aluminium and copper cooling stand. So you take your device out, and once you've done hitting it, you want to cool it down, you just pop it in. And then I'm making like some other little things as well. This is this is from the Ent Exchange. It's a little decapper. So you take it off, when it's hot, I'm going to make a similar concept, the same idea, some sort of I'm going to make two designs. I've got a leather design that's kind of like cylindrical that I'm working on that goes over the top. And I've also got a silicon cylindrical design that sort of is like a keychain sort of silicon design that pops over the top to unscrew it when it's hot as well. Lots of stuff in the works, guys. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I'm super excited now that it's gotten to the point, and mind you as well. I have a my kid turns 2 this month. I'm realizing right now, 2 this month. So yeah, I've sort of gone from where we were to here whilst learning to goddamn be a father as well, which has been awesome. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, VerdaVap.com. Currently, we're only able to make sales to Australia because we're having issues with getting a payment processor on board. Essentially, we just got to get a lawyer. That costs money, takes time. So yeah, got to essentially this first batch here, we're selling through bank transfer, and Shopify handles that nicely, but only if you're like in Australia, you know. So anyway, that's fine. Bank transfers for this first batch for the Aussie exclusives drop here, and then yeah, working on getting a payment processor online so we can start shipping internationally. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. If you got any questions or whatever, pop them down in the comments, and I'll get around to them when I can. I'm notoriously bad at responding to people on everything and anything. Okay, so if you message me on whatever and I don't respond, please don't take it personally. I'm just one guy who's mostly a dad who's trying to start this business as well, and I have zero time. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Cheers.